Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Progressive channel where we talk about self, how to improve yourself in terms of profession, in terms of career, in terms of relationships. Also, we do activations using the Vedic astrological style. So, today, what are we going to talk about in today's short 1 minute video? We're going to be speaking about, in the New Human Being series, about balance. Now, what does balance mean? Right off the bat, the balance aspect is very crucial in our life. How does balance feel like? Remember, we spoke about feels like, everything is about feels like. So, balance feels like sureness. You're sure about yourself without requiring anybody else's approval about you. That is sureness. Balance feels like that. What else does balance feel like? Silent confidence. Silent is the key word there. Not trying to show off on YouTube or not trying to be too dramatic about things. Just a silent form of sureness. Are you sure about what you're speaking? Are you sure about your actions? Are you sure about your goals in life? Are you sure where you want to go with your life? All kinds of sureness is what it feels like. What else does balance feel like? It feels like centeredness inside, being centered. What does it mean by being centered? Being centered means in body, mind, and spirit, and emotions. Let's just take body and mind. Body and mind are centered, as in you're not swaying too much between emotions, you're not swaying too much between your obsessions and compulsions and desires, or what you think is right, or what you feel I should be doing today, or etc. etc. It's a centeredness. It feels like that. What else is balance? Balance feels like calm courage. It's a calmness. It's like a cat. A cat has a sureness about itself. Look at how a cat moves, for example. Okay, it has a calm centeredness about itself. So that's what balance feels like. Okay, think about balance for today. Today's theme is about balance and what it means. In the next video, we'll catch up about other aspects. Today's 1 minute video ends here. Don't want to make it too long for you. No boring people. Okay, take care, be safe, and wherever you are, and keep watching. Okay, have a good one. We are speaking about the new human being, today being the aspect of beauty. Okay, what is beauty? Okay, again, we are going to speak in terms of feels like. What? Yes, everything has to be felt. That's the perception. This is not so much of a perception, this is a thought, an idea. Perception is felt here. Okay, beauty, first one. What does beauty feel like? It feels like the right place to be. Just sit with that for a minute. What does it feel like the right place to be? When you have an aha moment, when you say, yes, this is the place I feel to be, the connection you make. Right place to be. That's first thing. Second, what does beauty feel like? Adoration. You adore something. A mother adores a newborn baby. You adore a flower. You adore a good painting, a piece of music, artwork, or you adore your creation if you're a scientist, or you adore your teaching if you're in education, etc., etc. So beauty feels like that. Okay, think about this. This needs reflection. Beauty feels like divine connection. Divine connection. Now, the word divine itself comes from witchcraft and wizardry, where they used to divine things or bring things out. That's where the origin of word divine comes from. But what are we trying to bring out here? What is a connection? The self has to make a connect with the outside world in some form or fashion. Because all we have is we have the five senses. Beauty feels like what you are here to create and experience. Remember, you have only the five senses, which is also in Sanskrit called the indriyas, the sensory perception of the world. So using these five senses, you're perceiving the whole world. And where you make a connect is with beauty. You need to perceive beauty. You need to perceive beauty within yourself, and you need to perceive beauty in the external world. And all you have is the five senses, this five sensory perception. That's all you have. Just think for a minute. If you just subtract all these five senses, who are you? You become an abstract concept, right? So, beauty. Think about this in today's 1 minute video. I'll leave you with this. What beauty feels like. It feels like the right place to be. It feels like adoration. It feels like divine connection. You're connected to something. Even if it's a flower you're admiring today, you feel connected to the world in some form, that little form. You admire a fragrance. You admire something that you make a connect with. You have to connect with something. That connection is beauty. That's the next part of the New Human Being series, which we see here. Take care and have a good one. And be safe wherever you are. Create the action portion. There are 4 pillars of human action, as you can see in this figure here. And these 4 pillars constitute basically pretty much everything that we human beings do, right, in a day and throughout life. Create, expand, engage, and regenerate. So we are dealing with this action today. Today is an Action Monday. Welcome to the Action Monday, where we get up and take action in the world. So create. Again, we speak in terms of what does it feel like. What does create energy feel like? It feels like you're the master. You're in charge of your day. Remember, we have the creator energy within us. We come from the creator itself. Whatever that creator means in spiritual terms, let's not get into the esoteric part of it, but it feels like the creator. This is very crucial. People are missing this in their lives today with everything going on. You need to have equal amounts of each one of these 4, the actions that you see over here, right? The circle surrounding. So you need to create, you need to expand, you need to engage, and you need to regenerate. When we take actions in these 4, only then the human beings become or feel complete. Even in a day, every single day. This is not some day in the future. This is now, today, here. So creator energy feels like you are the master. What else does it feel like? It feels like from me to the rest of the world. Something that is going outward. This results in expand energy. That's why it is closely connected with expand energy. Because it's from me to the rest of the world. What am I giving out to the rest of the world? Even in astrological terms, you are here to just give away your energy right from birth to death. Everybody is giving away their energy. Doesn't matter, you don't sit there and do nothing. You're still giving away your energy. It feels exciting and fresh. Creation feels exciting and fresh. Remember, we are talking about feels like. It feels like exciting and fresh. Okay? So remember this, implement it, create something today. It might be anything. New dish. It might be creation of a new art form. It might be working in your boring job, but yet creating something new every single day. Think about it and keep watching. It has to be always felt, right? So we did speak in terms of feels like. Engagement. Well, you can see from the icon over there, somewhere there. Engagement. Participation with the collective. Okay, you're participating with the collective in one form or fashion. So you got to understand something. This is what's been going on since 2020. Too much of engagement. Too much of engagement in terms of Netflix, in terms of Amazon Prime, in terms of HBO, in terms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. What else have we got? So many others. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and God knows what not other things we have going on, right? Blink, Wink. I don't know how many social media platforms we have got going on. So we got all these things which we are engaging with ever since the whole thing began in 2020. So what does the engagement energy feel like? It's just one part of the 4. Engagement energy feels like soft participation. Soft participation means you're not actively putting your consciousness into anything. You're just watching something going on. Or you're reading a text or a post on social media. You're just watching stuff. Soft participation, not active engagement. It feels like seeking a connection. This is one of the things that we all human beings need, right? We need a connection with things. Okay? It's all about connection. So seeking connection is engagement. Seeking connection with something. Either the newspaper boy who delivers the newspaper, all trashy news every day in your doorstep, or the social media which has gone wild with all kinds of wilderness from the humanity coming in, or it's feeling another thing it feels like is being part of the whole. You feel like the community. The basic idea of all of this social media should be community engagement, doing something for the community. That's more like an active form of engagement rather than passive one. It feels like working with regenerate energy, as in you're taking a back seat and just watching everything that's going on. That is an engagement kind of energy. This is one of the four which we speak of in terms of new human being. Engagement. That's your 1 minute for today. Think about it. Think about how you can actively engage and how you are passively engaging. Are you putting out something as in create, which we spoke of in the earlier one? Or are you just engaging passively? Gotta think about that, folks. Think a lot. There's a lot of time now. Take care, be safe, and have a good day. So today, in this New Human Being series, minute playlist, we will talk about expand. Now, this is easier for me because I've captured all in one and not dancing around the whole thing. Expand. What is expansion? Well, why is it so important for us to understand this as an energy of creation? Okay. What does expand energy feel like? Expand energy feels like everything is contributing to you and you are contributing to everything else. So from you to outside world, from outside world to you. This we need to feel as human beings in every day of our lives. Doesn't matter if you're an engineer, doctor, lawyer, accountant, housewife, anything you are doing in the external world, from the time you get up till the time you go to bed, these are all daily actions. It's a soul calling kind of. It feels like as if I'm drawn to doing this. And how you're drawn to doing each one of them, well, for that you got to see the astrological perspective. That's where astrology helps. Astrology is a tool which I use to discover and tell people what they are about and what they will be drawn towards, where they can expand. That's the main thing. It feels like working with the creator energy because creation always expands. This is where we need to bring in consciousness into this way we handle the self and all the aspects of the human being. Consciousness always tries to expand. That's what we have been doing ever since we are on this planet, as souls, as civilizations which have come and gone, as everything that has been created and has been created in the past. All the past civilizations, ancient civilizations, they were focused on this expansion. Because expansion is what, even according to the Vedic texts, everything seeks to increase in consciousness, increase in size, increase in the value systems, increase in education, increase in science, increase in technology, innovation. The way we interact with one another as human beings, as societies have evolved, cultures have evolved, everything tends to expand. This is the nature of consciousness itself. Doesn't matter whatever is going on now or in the past, it's always trying to become more of itself. So today, if you want to take away anything away from this, ponder upon the idea of expansion. How you are expanding today? What is it that you are drawn towards? Just a tiny little bit for today. Just two little baby steps. So we talk in terms of expansion. This is a huge part of becoming or evaluating this new human being model that we have put up there. The four energies of action. One of them is to expand. You got to check out, am I expanding in something? Okay, that's your 1 minute or couple of minutes video for today. Keep watching. People ask me, well, what's your product? I don't have a product. If you are all about product and marketing, good God help the civilization, right? Look where it's got us. Okay, so knowledge. What is the knowledge about? Knowledge feels like. Remember, we are talking about the 6 aspects of a human being. Compassion, love, beauty, understanding, balance. Today we talk about knowledge. Knowledge feels like, what does knowledge feel like? Expansion. It's an element of expansion right there. Okay. Then it feels like growth. Why do we seek knowledge from the time we are children? Even when we start putting things in our mouth, we seek knowledge. Knowledge can be in many ways of perceiving. In a child, it begins with the sensory perception. But as we grow, we want more intellectual knowledge, how we can perceive things. What does knowledge feel like? It feels like a childlike curiosity. This is the element that is missing in today's world. People don't have childlike curiosity about things. They take it for granted that this is what things are, or this is the way things are. Well, that's not textbook knowledge. We're not talking about textbook knowledge here. Everybody can get a fancy degree from some fancy university. That's not knowledge. Knowledge is curiosity. You should feel curious about anything. Day to day, we are talking always about day to day stuff. Yes. It feels like sure-footedness. You're putting your foot firmly on the ground, as in it feels like that. It feels like you know where you're going with stuff. It's a sure-footed knowledge. You don't have doubts about it. So that's what knowledge feels like. So capture this. I will stick this somewhere over here. I'm always confused between this left and right in this thing. So keep a watch on this and use today to think about knowledge. What would you like to? Now we all regenerate, but what do we mean by this particular one with respect to the new human being? Regenerate feels like, again, we talk in terms of feels like, what feels like inside, right? Regeneration feels like passive participation, reflective, more going within, internal, right? That's one. Regeneration, what else does it feel like? It feels like soft internal rejuvenation. When we talk of internal rejuvenation, whatever we are doing in the external world, we need to do equally internal reflection. Yes, we need to go within and reflect on whatever happened during the day. With your family, with your friends, with your workplaces, whatever you have interacted, we need to regurgitate. That's rejuvenate. That's also an action, although it's a passive one. What else does it feel like? It feels like rest and refresh. Every day you go to bed after finishing your work and interacting whatever you want to interact during the day. And then you come back and you sleep. What happens then? There's that quiet refreshment. Whatever has happened is assimilated in a different way. And you wake up next day with a new set of ideas to create. That's what we do every day. Even sleep is a regenerate energy. Another thing that regenerate feels like is an introversion. It's going within. It's not extroversion. It's opposite of extroversion. It's opposite of create. Create, you generally go out and create. There's nothing to create internally. A soul is born self-fulfilled. It doesn't need to create anything for itself. It's going outward to create. Remember that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the 1-minute video for today. If you need more information, if you need to discuss more, keep a watch on this channel. Get in touch with me on Facebook for activations, etc. I do not do readings, I just do activations and general readings only. Take care, have a good one, and be safe wherever you are. Perspective of understanding. Today is an understanding day, right? Understanding Mondays, if you want to call it that. So what is understanding? Understanding, it feels like connected heart and mind. When the heart and mind feels connected, it feels like you have understood something. When you say, I understand you, or I understand now what you're speaking about, that's what it means, connected heart and mind. It feels like you become the instrument of change for the betterment of the world. Remember that. When does a person become an instrument of good change? When they have an understanding, combined heart and mind. When it feels like compassion, understanding feels like compassion with knowledge combined. When only knowledge can become highly egoistic, as we all know. But when compassion is combined with knowledge, it becomes understanding. You have to understand all these things in feels like terminology. What feels like to you? This is what understanding feels like. What do you mean by understanding? One of this is compassion with knowledge combined. It feels like a connectedness with all life. Life is just pure energy. When one feels connected with all life, one feels connected with everybody, all life around you, really. Then it becomes understanding, a greater understanding of things. So, this is my 1 minute video for you today. Tomorrow, we'll catch up with the next of the Human Beings series. Keep watching and be safe wherever you are.